Hi guys, Scotty here with another DBZ Dokkan Battle video for you. In this video we're going to be looking at how you can finish all the missions in Stage 9 of the When Wishes Backfire, the Birth of the Shadow Dragons event. This event is quite difficult with some of the hardest hitting bosses in the game currently at the end. It's a boss rush, so you're going to be going through a bunch of the Shadow Dragons all the way up until the Int Omega Shenron, which is going to be, he is quite a monster, but we'll get to him. I'm going to have a cheat sheet on the left there so that you can check what each boss does as we are going through this, and I'm going to jump around a bit and just give you guys some tips on how to beat this. So to get all the missions done, you're going to need to just finish the event as one of the missions. You're going to need to bring 4 GT Heroes category units on a team to get that mission done, and then lastly you need to bring 6 Battle of Fate category units on a team to get that mission done. This team that I'm showing here that you saw at the beginning, this will get all 3 of those missions done in a single run. So if you bring this team, or if you bring other teams, try and see if you can combine them so you get all done at once. This event is no joke. There are a good couple of teams that can do it, but yeah, you need very big damage, and that final boss hits incredibly hard and he disables his evasion, and yeah, he does a lot at the end there. But let's get started on the first boss here now. So this is going to be Haze Shenron, nothing special about him, he's just going to be a fodder boss. We're going to jump right ahead, he'll be very easy to get through. Okay, jumping to the first boss, that's going to have some just a couple of mechanics for you to pay attention to. He is going to stun or seal your character when he supers you. So a couple of things to just take notes about this. If you are trying to get your Super Saiyan 4 duo, turn the Fire Super Saiyan 4 duo going to Gogeta to get stacks and start boosting their defense, you do not want to put them in slot 1. Slot 1 is going to get stunned or sealed, so they are not going to be able to get their defensive stacks. So try sub in another unit into slot 1 so they can sit in slot 2 and they can get all of their stats. They are not, this boss is not going to be able to be hit by Ki Blast supers. He nullifies them, as well as he's going to reduce damage received from non-int units, but I don't think that matters that much with how high of a damage we're doing, especially at this low of a level. See, we almost threw this boss with 1 unit anyway, and yeah, there we go. Pretty much done. So that's what you can do, and that's just a little tidbit. If you need anyone to stack, don't put them in the first slot because they will get stunned and you will not be able to get your stacks. Okay, moving on to Oceanus here, you are going to be stunned as well when she supers you. I don't think it is guaranteed in first slot here, but you can immediately see my mistake. What I was telling you not to do is don't put your Super Saiyan 4s in slot 1 if you want them to tank, because I don't know if it is guaranteed, but it did feel like it does happen and it's guaranteed. So don't put units in slot 1 that you need to start stacking. So yeah, they got stunned, they're not going to stack, and then we move on here. And I was like, oh, maybe I could swap up, and then I was like, no, that's too late, and just deal with it anyway. That is pretty much all there is to Oceanus. There is not that much to worry about with her. The bosses only really start ramping up, I'd say, from the next boss. We're sitting at like 1.6 million damage per super, and you can see how quickly we're burning through them. So now we are going to go on to Super Naturon Shenron, STR1 here, and he is going to seal one of your unit's super attacks. So you'll see in the beginning there, you'll just have to check which one it is, but one of them is going to be sealed, they're not going to be able to super, and that is what you're going to have to deal with for him. So he starts getting up to 2.5 million damage here, and normals are 900,000. So we're starting to get to bigger super attacks now. Not too many super irritating mechanics on this guy though. At least it's just sealing, which can be annoying though if he chooses again your stackers and then you just can't stack with him. But yeah, he wasn't too difficult, and if you've brought AGL Gogeta, it is laughable. It is just you burn straight through him again. Okay, now we're going to go on to Nova Shenron. So now we start seeing a couple more mechanics. We start getting to 2.6 million supers. We get almost a million normals, so 930,000 damage on normals. So yeah, this will start being even more of a ramp up on damage. He is going to reduce all damage received from any non-STO units. Again, didn't really feel this too much. Like, I don't think you're building a team around this, worrying too much about that. So yeah, this is me just calculating quickly in my head if I would survive his super attack with just the defense I had, because I really wanted to stack a bit more with the Super Saiyan 4s. You want to stack as much as possible with the Super Saiyan 4s here, get to at least 2 million defense, so when you transform with Gogeta, you've got a chance at the end. So yeah, like Nova Shenron is going to reduce damage received from anyone who's not an STO unit. He can evade your attacks. It's 5%. Feels much higher because of the number of evades he got. But yeah, he can evade your attacks. And every time he supers his subsequent attacks in the turn, he is going to then be more powerful. I think it's a 50% attack raise. So he will be stronger once he supers. So just watch out if you are hiding someone in the back there. They may, if you super in the middle slots, the third slot might start taking a lot of damage. So yeah, just watch out for that as well, but nothing else too sticky with him, and we'll move on from here. Okay, on to Ice Shenron. So this is probably the most irritating stage, and a stage where a lot of stuff can go wrong. So he is going to lock character switching, the most irritating mechanic in the game, hands down. So you can see here my Super Saiyan 3 Goku is locked in slot 1. Now, luckily we do have his ape form available, giant ape form. And a little tip with this that, listen, I learned this recently as well, I didn't know, is once you transform into Great Ape mode, those units that you see there, his 3 units, they correspond to your units in game that you from the previous turn. So now you can actually move them around. You do need to just remember where they were, and I made a slight mistake here. I should have put the middle one that you see there now in the furthest left, because I wanted AGL Gogeta to tank, but we ended up being fine. But yeah, you swap those. If you swap them around and you can remember where your units were, they correspond to your in-game units when you get back to the same turn. So now you've kind of managed to switch them around, and then you get back in, he'll lock the same slot, and you've managed to get around it. So that's quite nice for Super Saiyan 3 with his little transformation. It can get you out of some character switching shenanigans, so that is fun to know. A little tidbit there. Otherwise, he is going to be locking character switching, like I said, and there is no evasion on this. So that was quite a scary turn, because we had Super Saiyan 3 locked there, and he was fully reliant on his 70% dodge, which would have been disabled. So yeah, that was pretty much the end of the run for us there if we didn't have that transformation. So that is very, very helpful. So this is sort of where you want to start just paying a little bit of attention to the defense of most of your characters. To get hit by a super from Ice Shenron is a 3.8 million damage. So just maybe check a couple of your units, see, okay, these guys have stacked enough, they're 2.3, they've got guard, they've got a bit of damage reduction, can probably survive that. Maybe you transform them now, maybe not. Like I said, get these guys as much stacking as you possibly can. But yeah, they do lose a bit attack and defense by of 100% after turn 7, so you will see them, they stacked over 2 million, and then the next turn, when I did transform them, they dropped down a bit as well, because they lost that when they transform, they lose that 100% for 7 turns. But that's not a problem, they get a nice boost when they transform into Gogeta. But anyway, that is, like I said, it is a 3.8 million super and a 1.3 million normals here for Ice Shenron, and he has 200 million health, so yeah. Now you're going to want to save, you'll see what I'm doing here is you want to save all of your actives, as much of your actives and like high damage turns and that as possible for the for LR Int Omega Shenron at the end there. Well, yeah, for the end version, the boss at the end, because he does so much damage. You do not want to be sticking around in his turn too much. Every extra turn you take with him is just a chance that you're going to die. So yeah, definitely want to be, I'm actually saving I did bring 2 Wheezes, and I brought the 2 Wheezes, and we're going to be saving all our actives for that final boss. So just make sure you do that as well, and then we get to the final turn, we'll have all that available to us to save ourselves if anything goes wrong. We're getting some nice stacks here, and yeah, we're going to jump to the next boss quickly. Okay, so jumping ahead to Physical Sign Shenron. He is a big boy. Now comes the real damage. We are up to nearly 300 million HP, 2.38 million normals, and 6.66 nice damage on a super. So this is he is gonna do a lot of damage. He has a skill where he can recover HP as well, so that is his only real mechanic. He is going to be recovering HP. You'll see it pop up on the little warnings there, and it'll say skill activated. That's when he's going to be healing himself, so you need to deal with that as well. Now, we are changing it to Gogeta here, and why I've included some of the super attack stats and the normal attacks and all of that is because now you really need to start taking a look at, like, okay, we've only got 2 million defense and guard, so with that, we're probably dead if Gogeta takes the super in his base form. So went and transformed him, we get the damage reduction for the first turn, we get the extra defense per orb received, all of that, and then the chance to counter. Now the counters are going to come in clutch quite a lot here, very, very useful from all these Super Saiyan 4 units, so those are nice to have as well. So yeah, you just need to bear in mind what damage is coming your way. Check your units, check your defense. Like for instance, that Vegeta at the end there, I think he had 2 million defense, and he massively raises attack on Super. So we know he could be a problem if he needs to super like 3 or 4 times to get really high up there, and then he's got no other defensive mechanics, so he could still die to the super if the super is there. Luckily, he does have a chance to counter it, so that is one of the benefits. And where a little bit of the RNG is going to come into effect here is you might get unlucky and not dodge a super, but most of the supers I've seen have been in slot 1 and 2 for both these bosses, so don't really think he supers in the back. Now watch him super right at the end here, just to prove me wrong. I don't think he did. I don't remember if he did, but Vegeta, I think he handles it just fine. He has that chance to counter, and we've got type advantage as well as we are just hugely boosting up that defensive stat. But again, it's a 6 million super, so that is crazy. And no, we didn't get supered in the back there, so that is fine. So yeah, not too many other things to say about this. This one, again, keep saving your actives, mainly meaning the Gogeta ones and the Super Saiyan 4 ones, so that you can get those big damage boosts and that bit of damage, extra damage from the Super Saiyan 4s. So just save them. We're coming around to the last turn here shortly. Okay, Int Omega Shenron. This man has 525 million HP. He does 2.5 million normal attacks and 7 million supers. So that is some very big damage. Oh, and let's not stop there. He also has AoE attacks that he can launch multiple times in a turn. His first AoE is going to do 2.5 million damage to each of your units, and the subsequent ones are all going to do half that damage, 1.25 million. So it's mainly about surviving the first one. I did immediately pop a wheeze here. The Super Saiyan 4 was pretty much at the Super Saiyan LR AGL Goku as well as LR STR Vegeta are going to pretty much be, do they counter and not die, or do they not counter and die pretty much at this point, because they can get up to 3-4 million defense, which is very good, but that doesn't really matter for 7 million. So the extra damage reduction from AoEs is going to help a lot here. You can definitely no item run this, and this team is actually perfect to do that. The SS4's dodging ability, their countering is a nullification, so it will not be subject to the disabling of evasion, because you're not technically evading, you're nullifying, so you will have no problem using this. It'll just be a little bit of RNG that you would need to get, and I didn't really want to have to deal with that, so that's why I popped the Wheeze, but you could totally just ignore that. So yeah, you would just need to make sure that you are sort of, if you were not running this, you would just need to make sure, at least not really that you can make sure, you would have to hope that your supers are coming in the front and Gogeta is tanking them. And even Gogeta can take a good bit of damage from this guy from Omega Shenron without any Wheeze up. If he's Rainbow, I think he should be fine. He's so much defense raising on super, on receiving an attack, on receiving a super attack. So your defense should shoot sky high, and you've got guard, and you've got 50% damage reduction. So I mean, that is just how powerful Gogeta is, but I've still seen him take damage from his boss, and if one of the other SS4s or something takes a super, they are dead. They should be fine with the AoEs. Do watch out for the STR and AGL super easy A's though. that 2.5 million, the 2.5 million AoE can fry them as well completely, because usually they get up to, before they get to super, they've got like 1 million defense. So yeah, if they don't get to do something, if you don't have a bit of more damage reduction than that 30%, it's gonna just fry you, or the normals are gonna fry you if you if they don't get to super. So yeah, but that is pretty much it. That is all I have for you. I hope this has really helped, and it was a tough event, but nice seeing some tough events. And yeah, this has been a great fun team to play with, and yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.